Welcome to the GameDay Playbook presented by FanFood, a discussion around how leaders are transforming the sports and live entertainment industry by leveraging technology to enhance the fan experience and operate game day more efficiently. I'm your host, Rob Cressy, and joining me today is Jesse Cole, owner of the Savannah Bananas and author of the book, Find Your Yellow Tux. Jesse, super excited to have you on the show.
Dude, I'm pumped up to be with the legend himself, Rob Cressy, right now. This is huge for me.
And Jesse, this is probably, I believe, our third podcast episode we've done together, but first one for the FanFood audience. And I am so incredibly excited because you inspire me. We've built a relationship. You're someone that is a great example for others in so many different areas. Living in action, creativity, marketing, passion, fan engagement, providing value. And I'm so excited because I know for other people, they're going to get so much out of this. And I do want to make sure that people check out your book because no joke, I believe it was last year that it came out. Correct me if I'm wrong. But when it came out, I read it and immediately my year was set because I just loved the mindset about it. So thank you, Jesse.
This is the best intro ever. I'm feeling great right now, Rob. Thank you for this. Let's have some fun, man.
Yeah, I mean, it comes from a yes and philosophy. You always build up others, right?
You're doing a great job, man. No, seriously, it's how do you make people feel? And when you actually create a business model in sports or whatever you do by how do you make people feel, it's amazing that the results and success that come from it. So you did a great job right there. And those are the things we try to actually teach our team. And so thank you for that.
You're welcome. So let's actually stay on that right now. How do you make people feel? And when I think about fan engagement, it's something that has to be very intentional. That so often when you look at professional sports or sports in general, you've got a product on the field and some brands do it good, some don't. But the ones who do a little bit extra, they're the ones that make you feel some sort of way. And there's that quote, and I don't think I'm going to get this 100% correct, but people will never forget the way that you make them feel. And if you can go above and beyond, so give us a little taste of your fan engagement mindset regarding how you make people feel.
Well, like you said, we own a small little team here in Savannah, Georgia, the Bananas, and we were very clear from the beginning that we weren't going to be like the normal baseball team. It was going to be all about entertainment and the circus, and everything was to make people feel entertained, make them laugh, and bring fun. And so for us, we focus on what we can control. And most sports teams, they focus so much on the team, the players, how they do on the field. We realized we couldn't control that, so let's focus on the entertainment. So for us, we want people to feel a sense of unbelievable fun and excitement on every step of the way. So for instance, when someone buys a ticket from us, they get an email and it's a video of our team. It says, "Congrats, you just made the best decision of your day. Right now as your ticket order came in, a banana siren went off around the whole stadium. Our Bananiacs ran into the ticket laboratory. We had a banana nana slowly walk in and grab your tickets and handpick them and put them on a silk pillow. We raised the silk pillow into the air and we sang Circle of Life around the pillow. And then we brought your tickets into our vault so you can be ready to go bananas." It's just a sense of variation of that. We want to hit them with that fun. And that's everything we do. And that's why we have a pep band and a breakdancing first base coach and DJ Peels on wheels. And Rob, this year we even hired a 6-year-old to be our official high fiver for the team.
I love it because what you guys do is you're surprising and delighting. And it's something that is a lost art because so many brands don't do it. So for the ones that do, it is an opportunity for you to create a positive brand interaction. And one thing that's been a hallmark of the way that I've built my own brand is everything you do is an opportunity to create a positive brand interaction. And certainly you know that, but all the way down to the confirmation ticketing email. And it speaks to having an attention to detail, but also you like to put yourself in the shoes of the end consumer. What would you want a brand to do in your ticket email? Because the majority of emails we all receive are very bland and not value driven.
Well, I think in any sporting event or any team, turn the boring into fun. So you think about all the things that happen that are boring. How can you make them fun? Even here in our office, our hold music is ring, 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 banana phone. And we actually have a voicemail that a woman sings, "You've reached the Savannah, na, na, na. You've reached the Savannah Bananas, na, na, na." every single thing, we look at those boring touch points. So to give you another example, during the pregame announcements, you've been to every sporting event, Rob. You know, it's like, all right, please watch for thrown and batted balls. We have concessions here. We have our intern sings the pregame announcements. So she goes like, smoking is prohibited inside Grayson Stadium, so take it out back. There's a place to smoke in the front. And like, she gives this whole song that goes to that theme. And so that's a boring moment, make it fun. And so I think so many teams can look at that. When you're doing visiting lineups, do you do it like everyone else? We put a Grim Reaper on the dugout and play the Undertaker theme song when the visiting team's going on. You know, you think of those moments, and I think there's so many opportunities if you're clear on who you are. And I think so many companies aren't clear. We're a baseball team. We're a football team. But what business are you really in? And for us, we're in the entertainment business, and it's very clear. We make baseball fun. So let's make every boring moment into a fun moment.
Absolutely love that mindset. So now let's get to the tactical and the action-oriented side of things and executing these things with so many things, going from running a stadium to the team all the way down to the hold music. That takes people and process. So can you take us into your mindset into how to run game day operations efficiently? Because you've got a lot going on.
Yeah, well, we failed miserably in game day operations. I mean, we became the only team in 2016 to do every single ticket, all you can eat. So we said, hey, what's the worst possible experience when you go to a sporting event? All right, you get nickel and dimed. It's $8 for this, $6 for this, $8 for this. You stand in line. That's terrible. So what's the exact opposite? So we said, let's make every ticket all inclusive. But Rob, we had no idea how to do it. We just knew it'd be a great ticket option. All your burgers, your hot dogs, your chicken sandwiches, your soda, your water, your popcorn, your dessert, all for $15, including the ticket. The first night, the lines were about 3 hours long. Someone would get in line before the game started, didn't get a burger until the 8th inning. I mean, it was that bad. And so we failed miserably. But then I think the big thing is most teams would quit there. We said, all right, let's get a little better next game. Let's get a little better next game. Let's get a little better next game. We started just keep making changes. We knew it was the answer, but we just didn't know how to get there. So we're realistic in the sense that we know our operations aren't the thing that we do best. People don't come to our games for our burgers. They come to our games for the show. And I think people need to understand, what is that one thing they want to be the best at? It's not our food. It's not necessarily our operation efficiency, but it's the show. It's the entertainment. So we focus on that.
How did you handle the communication for the people on that very first day of 3 hours? Because certainly you've built a brand of fun and engagement in this atmosphere where the being at the stadium is part of the experience. And oh, by the way, there's also a game going on. So you can get someone, you've got a lot of loyalty, but you've probably got a lot of people trying for the first time, certainly in an all-you-can-eat type opportunity. So how do you address sorry you've waited in line for 3 hours and the experience or lack thereof that may have given someone?
So we were fortunate that a lot of people gave us the benefit of the doubt because they knew it was our first time ever in this old 1926 ballpark trying something new. But some people didn't. But I think what we did as our staff was like, what can you do to make them feel cared for? I'm sure we gave away more free food, more freebies that night than we ever had. We'll go around, do samples. We'll go around, do things in line to try to take care of people. But, it's not something you can teach. It's just something that again, put yourself in their shoes. How would you feel? And the one thing people don't ever want to feel or want to hear is excuses. If you're ever standing in line and something goes wrong, you don't want to hear, oh, people didn't show up to work today. Sorry, it's really bad. No one wants to hear that. So we got to remember not to give excuses, just put yourself in their shoes. And one thing that we do, Rob, is we do undercover fan. Every single night we have someone on our staff actually go undercover and experience a game as a fan. They park with the fans. They walk in with the fans. They sit with the fans. Even I've done it and taken off the yellow tuxedo. And I think that gives a great feeling of empathy to understand what it's like to actually go through the entire process. And through that, we get better every single day. And I think we've learned to compete with ourselves. And that first night where it was really bad, the communication, the food, we knew we're competing ourselves to get a little better next game, a little better next game. And now it's less than 5 minutes if you want to get food at any point in the stadium for 4,000 people. And it's taken 4 years to get there. I think fans now appreciate that we put the time and effort to get there and didn't just quit and give up.
Man, empathy is such a strong and powerful word when talking about everything that we are right now. Because when you can put yourself in the shoes of someone else, and think about this for any business, I don't care what it is, But when you can empathize with someone and be like, man, I feel like they're feeling, you can now understand the solutions of what you can do to help drive the value for them.
And you know what's crazy? Our fans will throw suggestions to us. Because our whole company is named Fans First Entertainment, our fans will say, hey, you could try this, you could try this. Our fans design our t-shirts. They help design our jerseys. They named the team. They named our mascot. They're now a part of our Bananas, our male cheerleading team. It is a fan-based team. And I think that's really cool that everyone wants to feel like they're a part of something. And when you actually allow them to be a part of something and you listen to them, it's amazing what happens. And I feel we've built a great community that, we're so fortunate what's happening. It's because of that.
And if you actually want to check out a good book about not accepting excuses, check out Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. It has been something that's been foundational to my mindset as a leader to essentially take everything on yourself when there's no such thing as excuses, because you're right. The number of times that we've spent money or had experiences where all of a sudden excuses are thrown out. And it's certainly in professional sports, the best of the best, they do not accept excuses from their athletes. So why would we as consumers accept excuses from the brands that we interact with?
And the reality is, Rob, it's on the owner. If something goes wrong with a game day staff member, an intern, or something at the ballpark, it's the owner's responsibility. It's their fault. And I try to say, you know what? It's my fault. I made a bad decision here. I made a bad decision, even if it wasn't directly my fault. And I think we need to really get in a culture of no more excuses and take more accountability and ownership. And when we do that, it's amazing what happens because the rest of the staff starts doing the same thing. No, you know what? It was my fault. I should be better. And they start owning that as well.
Well, yeah, and that's about culture and core values that you have to, as you said, you've got to set that at the top and it trickles down. And it's no wonder why the brands who are best at it, like you guys, like Southwest, the ones that surprise and delight, boom, it starts with the core values and they make that known.
Yeah, and then they have stories that back up those core values. So many companies have their core values, integrity, honesty, all this. Give me stories that show your people, following after that core value. That's when it's a game changer. We're very clear. Our core values always be caring, different, enthusiastic, fun, growing, and hungry. And we have stories that back that up. We also have our fans give us testimonials that back those up. So we're really embodying it in our brand. And this has taken a lot of failures, a lot of struggles. I know we say we figured it out. Believe me, we failed so much on the way there, but now we're just so clear on where we're going and what we're doing.
All right, so let's go with where you're going and let's look forward. What opportunities do you see right now in the sports industry?
I think it all comes down to the questions that you're asking. And what keeps me up at night is how do we stay relevant? If you look at every single sports team, they have ebbs and flows. They have a sellout streak for 400 games, then they lose it. And so what I'm thinking is how do you stay relevant? And I think for sports teams, they're going to have to own more entities. And what I mean by that is a sports team may have LeBron James for 2 years, and then they lose LeBron James. Now, athletes move every couple of years more than they ever did before. So what can you own that's not necessarily a player? And the things that we think about is our characters, whether it's our breakdancing first base coach, whether it's our male cheerleading team, whether it's our Bananas. We think of these entities. What can you own that's part of the brand that people will come to your arena, your ballpark, no matter what players you have on the court or on the field? And so I'm trying to build this, almost thinking of it as WWE. You have all of these different brands underneath one single brand. And I think that is going to be the key for sports teams. So they don't just rely on bringing in the biggest superstar. They rely on creating an entertainment experience that succeeds no matter who they have on the court.
Well, you're speaking to somebody who loves all things brand building. So sign me up for that because it makes complete sense. And if you think about how fickle everyone's attention is right now, it is the brands that are going to invest in the relationships that'll be there to stay, because a relationship lasts so much longer than, like you said, a transaction between teams and players. Because me being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, 1 year ago, we had Ben Roethlisberger, Le'Veon Bell, and Antonio Brown. Guess what? 0 of them played for the Steelers last week.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And so that's where you have to build a brand that isn't dependent on the players. And then I think also, Rob, is every team should not just have a marketing plan, they should have an attention plan. What are you doing to create attention? So many brands are like, oh, we're going to market this, we're going to sell this, we're going to sell this. But you can have unique things. What are your merchandise? What about TV shows? What about food items that are unique? You got to create that so that people know, I don't know what to expect this year. Bill Veck said it best, and he's obviously behind me, one of my biggest mentors. He said, I used to never even announce when we were doing fireworks. I want people to come to the stadium saying, I don't know what's going to happen next. And when you create that you may miss something, that's when you'll have fans that are like, I got to be at the ballpark. I got to be at the arena. Now fans kind of have an idea of what to expect. You need to create something that they feel like they may miss something. And that's why we're having so many surprises every year. We have idea paloozas with our staff, and we come up with these things that's like, all right, let's keep that a secret until we release it. We didn't tell anybody about the kilts until we played in it. I mean, we played a whole game in kilts, and we didn't tell any of the media until the game happened. You need to think about those things like, are they really going to do this? And I feel like teams need to hold some of those secrets behind and let them happen so fans can say, this is going to be special when I show up, and I don't know what's going to happen.
What about on the technology side of things? What's on your mind for technology?
The technology makes me laugh, Rob, because I know everyone's talking about technology. And you know my mindset, whatever's normal, do the exact opposite. So if everyone's going in one direction, where am I going? The exact opposite. So at our stadium, we have an old school manual scoreboard, similar to Fenway Park. We had a digital scoreboard that was up here before we arrived, but we never turned it on. We never operated it. We have zero technology at our ballpark. And I understand the value of technology. I understand the fact that our brand spreads because of all the music videos and all the videos that go out. But when people come to the ballpark, I want them to escape. I want them to be able to come out there and just be like a kid again. And that's why we have 4,000 people dancing, 4,000 people singing. And so I don't know what's going to happen with technology. I know that virtual reality is going to take off. I know people are going to be able to experience games like they've never had before. But I still want that father and son to be able to sit together, enjoy a hot dog, and talk, and point out things that are happening at the ballpark. I want that to happen every single night. And I think that's so important to me now that I have a son, and we played catch for the first time on our field in front of 4,000 fans. I think about that. So I'm not jumping to digital. I'm not jumping to electronic. I'm not thinking about all that. I'm thinking, how do we make the experience so fun that people won't even think about having technology?
I love that. So playing devil's advocate here, is there a part of you that says, with all of this, we understand we might not be straight turbo when it comes to technology, but can you be conscious about maybe we do one thing to help add technology to increase fan experience, knowing that at the end of the day, that I completely agree with you on escaping and the reason for the lack of technology, but what about the opportunities to use technology maybe in more unique ways that others aren't thinking about?
So I understand, obviously, being on this show, I understand the value of technology. And I think every company should always ask, what are you doing to make it easier for your customers? That's why Amazon's winning. They're making it easier every single day. So I think you need to ask that question. If there is technology that can make it easier without having people have to be so focused on it for the entire game, that could be an answer. But for me, I'm still so focused on the show and the entertainment and the one-on-one personal connections that technology would have to be a no-brainer for us to go to make the experience better, faster, easier, that we would jump into that. So I can't say never, but I will say right now our focus is pretty singular.
Jesse, as we wrap this up, is there anything that I didn't ask you that you think would benefit the audience?
You know, that's a great question. I think anybody in the sports world, I think just continue to think about everything is about your fans. Love your fans more than you love your product. And think about every single touch point. How do you make it an exciting, fun experience? And if you focus on that, you will always be competing against yourself, and you will always win the game because you will focus on what matters most.
Jesse, I have so much fun talking to you because it's so refreshing. Fundamentally, we think the same way. I love the fan-first mindset. Obviously, anybody who's made it this far and listened to this probably loves your brand and your philosophy. Where can everybody connect with you?
I was told the other day, if you just search Yellow Tux on Google, you'll find me all over the place. So you search Yellow Tux, you'll find me. I post every day on LinkedIn, and I just share the journey. And I think that's what I respect you so much, is constantly sharing what you're learning with people and not asking for anything in return. When you give, everything else comes back. And I think you do a great job of that, and I try to do that every day as well.
Well, thank you very much, Jesse. And as always, I would love to hear from you about this episode. I'm curious to hear what brands make you feel some sort of way. Is there a brand that is fun or makes you feel excited? I would love to hear about your favorite brands. You can hit up FanFood on Twitter at FanFood On Demand, on Instagram at FanFood App, or on LinkedIn. And as always, you can hit me up on all social media platforms at Rob Cressy.
It's going, it's in there. A new Major League record. New Major League record. New Major League record.